Since I was 16 years old, I fell in love with trucks. I got to go and see the world. I drove oversized loads across country all the way to Seattle, Washington, Colorado, Wyoming, North Dakota. I mean, the country's beautiful. Sometimes I really get upset and everything because I am not able to get in a truck and drive anymore.
Pat was born into poverty. That's why working is so important to Pat, because Pat grew up with nothing. At the time, he was working at the top of a frac tank. He was doing his job the way he was supposed to, exactly as he was trained. He did nothing wrong. And so you've got a guy who, through no fault of his own, gets hurt. What's he supposed to do?
2 truck drivers and 1 technician went out to take all the hoses and everything that you connect to the frac tanks to recycle the oil, the mud through them. I got up on the furthest frac tank and started putting the rails down. I went to the 4th one and it was stuck, and when I jerked it up, it broke on me and I fell 13 feet to the ground. I hit the ground standing up and I crushed all the bones in my right foot, jammed my hip into my socket twice and cracked it and cracked my rib. It was the worst day of my life. My foot got locked in place. They had to fuse the bones across the top of it together. They put a rod and plate in there. It's locked down. I can't go down with it, which means I can't drive a semi no more.
His foot is now frozen in place to minimize the pain that he was having to undergo. And they will not renew your commercial driver's license if you have a foot that doesn't work. So Pat can no longer be a commercial truck driver.
This was after the company said, oh, don't worry about it. You're not going to get laid off. You don't have to worry about it. You have a job the rest of your life. These big companies, they don't care about you. All they care about is themselves. I've lost my livelihood. I was working 70 hours a week. Now I'm at home 7 days a week, 24 hours. You get hurt, you need to find a good lawyer. I did. Let me tell you something. That was the best thing in my life that I ever did, was called Doug Monsour.
Pat's case was incredibly tough because following his incident, we had to establish that all the tanks were made with the same materials. We had to hire an engineer to go back and evaluate the welds. We would have had to do far less if the investigation had been done the right way. Pat didn't want to hire me. Pat didn't want to hire a lawyer. He didn't want to get hurt. He wanted to do his job. That's all he wanted.
I'm good thanks to Doug Monsour. I am free of debt and everything else. I've been around lawyers all my life, lawyers, policemen. Doug Monsour is the best lawyer I've ever dealt with in my life. If it wasn't for that, I don't know where I'd be right now.